Welcome to Moneyball without the stats. You can consider this part 0 of a series on Football Manager where I wanted to talk a bit about the idea of Moneyball and what that means as an idea and a concept and a strategy. I was very fortunate that I got to read Moneyball whenever I was a teenager, not long after it came out, and it changed the course of my understanding about sports and business, and it still is one of my favorite books to read and one I recommend for anyone trying to understand business, because the author of Moneyball, Michael Lewis, got started as a writer in finance. He worked at Salomon Brothers back in the 80s and wrote about his experiences there, and he brought a lot of those sensibilities into all of his books, but especially Moneyball, because it is really at the core not about stats. The main goal of the Oakland A's wasn't to use stats. The main goal was to compete with teams with many more resources than they had access to. And from that goal, they worked backwards to find and create an engine that turned out to be stats, but it helped them find undervalued talent, helped them find players who wouldn't have come up on any other team's radar, who were able to contribute to them winning many games above what anyone expected. So to me, the bigger theme, rather than data analysis and statistics, is finding those market inefficiencies. Whenever I started playing Football Manager, I wasn't very familiar with the sport, much less the game. So it didn't seem to make sense to me to dive into all of these advanced terms and concepts when I didn't have a background on what a center half is or anything like that. All the terminology was foreign to me, so I had to start from ground zero. So to me, PPDA could have been an advanced stat or the kind of service that you can only buy on the dark web. But rather than trying to learn the advanced stats and increase an already steep learning curve, I focused on the attributes, scouting, all the basic systems in the game. But I did bring in the Moneyball theories that I had learned reading that book as a teenager and playing years and years of other simulation games. So this series will go through the book chapter by chapter and take away at least one key lesson per chapter that applies to playing Football Manager and doing so well, and especially in the saves that I think most people love. I think most of the people that love getting a £300 million transfer budget with Manchester United generally play FIFA. But if you want to do something weird like bring a team from the third tier of Slovenia all the way into the Champions League, you're playing Football Manager, and you're doing so with budgets that are often zero or practically zero. So for all the fellow weirdos who enjoy that sort of thing, I'm going to talk through all the different ideas and theories that I took away from the book and things that I've applied in my own saves, but I'm not going to use any advanced statistics. To this day, I don't go much deeper than expected goals or assists in Football Manager. I'm sure it would be helpful too, but I'm just not there. I'm too busy hunting Wonder Kids. So with that in mind, consider this part 0, and I look forward to talking in more depth about it in the next video. Until then, happy simming.